All right. Got my water. Staying hydrated. Check. Chicken nuggies for sustenance. Check. Vaseline for when I stick out my tongue trying to concentrate and end up chopping my lips. Check. We're ready. Welcome to Slurred Words, plays chess.com. You know, chess been popping off lately. I got a couple friends that have begun into chess, so I thought, why not? Why not give chess a try? Though I am pretty bad. I played a couple times as a kid, but like even then, it wasn't like anything like serious. Chess lesson learned from interactive lessons created by chess masters. Cool. You know, I was gonna say this might be a little too simple for me, but you know, it might just be my pace. Let's see what this says. Learn how all your pieces move and how. Okay. I know this one, but I'll go through it just in case. You never know. There might be some good tidbits in there. Chess is an exciting game.
Chess is one of the oldest and most recognized games in the world. It is an exciting game of strategy and planning, which is why it is seen as a symbol of intelligence. However, chess is easy to learn and can be enjoyed by anyone at any level. Chess is played on an 8x8 board with 64 squares and 32 pieces, and the game is all about checkmating the king. Once the king is in checkmate, which we'll explain later, then the game is over.
Okay, listen, listen. We're going back a little. I don't need to know this one. I know how the pieces move. I'm not that bad. I said go back twice, but somehow went to back to the lesson. There we go. Let's go beginner. I'm not new. I'm pretty bad as all. Opening principles. Let's learn the correct way to for the first moves of the game. Are you tired of not knowing what to do for your opening? Have you ever felt like you're behind from the very first move? Then this course is for you. By learning these important opening principles, you'll start playing the first moves of the game confidently. Here's what you will learn: the different phases of the game and how they're connected, how to protect your king, the importance of controlling the center. I did not know that. And how to develop your pieces. Perfect. Yeah, this is right up my alley. But you know, like all the streamers are getting into it too. Like these are my favorite ones.
Control the center, and you can control the game.
Okay, that's good to know.
We may have heard that it's important to control the center and develop our pieces as close to the center as possible, but what exactly does this mean? The center squares are e4, d4, d5, and e5. A popular, as well as strong opening move for white is to play e4. Okay. White moves a pawn directly in the center, controlling the d5 and f5 squares in black's territory, and it also opens up lines for white's light-squared bishop and queen to quickly enter the game. Good response for black is to play the same move, e5. By controlling the center, both sides prevent enemy pawns from entering their territory. If white tries to force two pawns in the center with d4, threatening black's pawn on e5, it's important for black to break up white's pawn center with e takes d4.
Yeah, why don't you just do that?
When white's dreams of taking over the center with pawns have been shattered, so black should not have any serious problems in the opening. Is the center really that important to control? What happens if black wants to move pawns on the edge of the board, such as a6? Pawn moves are important when they can control key squares, especially in the center, and when they open up lines for pieces to enter the game. This move does not control an important central square,
it seems like
and it only allows the rook to move to a7, not exactly improving black's position. Since black does not want to control the important center, don't be shy. Let's take the center for ourselves with d4.
Listen, maybe the
White's pawn duo control key squares in black's camp, c5, d5, e5, and f5.
Oh, damn, look at that.
Making it difficult for black to activate pieces on these squares. If black continues to make meaningless pawn moves such as h6, black has no central control, and besides the pawns, only 4 pieces can move.
So bad.
The knights, which were already able to move at the start of the game, and each rook only has 1 square.
Yeah.
Not a good start to the game for black.
Exactly.
White's pieces, on the other hand, enjoy great freedom. White's queen and 2 bishops enjoy open lines, and white's knights are ready to jump into the game with a move like knight f3. What happens if black wakes up from a deep sleep and decides to start developing pieces toward the center with knight to c6? Pieces need pawns in the center so they are not constantly attacked. Since black does not have a pawn on d5, white can simply march forward with d5,
Yeah.
grabbing space and attacking black's knight, forcing it to
Can't go
waste time
here.
by
Has to go
moving
here,
again.
or
Black should
backwards,
admit
maybe?
the mistake and retreat the knight, but
Really?
instead decides to move the knight to the edge of the board with knight a5.
Really?
Most pieces do not like
gone, like,
being on
here,
the edge
maybe.
of the board, and the knight is especially weak
can
as
go,
it
like-
only controls 4 squares. Compare this to white's knight on
I
f3.
can't do there,
It
actually.
controls 8 total squares. Twice as many squares as black's knight on a5 controls.
See, that's an interesting way to view it. So
More importantly,
depending on how- you
black's
kinda
knight
feel like
doesn't
his
have any
territory
safe
on
squares,
control in, like,
so white
chess
can
and
attack
stuff
this
like that.
poorly placed piece with b4. If black does
white's killing
nothing,
it.
white will simply win a piece. So after knight c4, black's knight has already moved 3 times, and white can now develop a piece and win the knight with bishop takes c4. Black is in serious trouble, but
Yeah,
should at least try to
obviously.
prevent white's central pawns from advancing with d6. Instead, black plays knight
Oh,
f6.
No, black.
Knights
What are
love
you
to be close to the
doing?
center of the board, but you have to prevent enemy pawns from attacking them. Since black has not controlled the center with
black's a
pawns,
newbie.
how can white gain space and attack black's knight? That's right, once again by advancing a center pawn with
Yeah.
e5. Black should once again retreat the knight, admitting another mistake, but decides to lunge forward with knight g4. Notice most of black's escape squares are controlled by pawns. Even black's pawn on h6 prevents a potential knight retreat. How can white win more material? If you found h3, nice work. If black takes the e5 pawn,
Oh,
white
well,
simply
thinking.
captures it with the knight on f3. If black plays knight takes f2, at least grabbing a pawn before losing the knight, white should not be afraid to move the king. Let's win material with king takes f2. By controlling the center with pawns and actively developing
Now,
pieces
hold on.
toward the center,
That's it.
white took
When you
advantage of
want to, like,
black's
maybe use
careless
your rook
play and is
instead,
simply
that
up
way
2
you can, like,
pieces with an excellent
what's it
position.
called? It's called
Now it's
castling?
time to
Yeah,
practice
take
taking
castle
over the
with
center
king.
in the challenges.
I mean, I guess to be fair, like on this side, you want to really be able to castle. You gotta do like a queen side castle from there. So I had been waiting, dude. I'm no beginner. So these challenges though. So white has just grabbed space by moving a pawn to e4 and is ready to dominate the center by moving a pawn to d4. Let's try our move our e5 pawn and grab a fair share to center. Okay, so like, yeah. Okay, so you're gonna try to take that. I think what we want to do is like, let's trap you basically at that. What? Okay, hold on. We call the F pawn the forget about it pawn. Forget about moving it in the opening because it opens diagonals to your king, and after you okay. Because it opens a diagonal to your king, and after you recapture the white pawn on e5, your king will be very unhappy when white's queen delivers a check on h5, attacking the king. Okay, let's try that again. Real quick. So, like, can I try? No, okay. I want to redress this. On h5. Wait, what? What's wrong, buddy? Oh, okay. Oh, wait, so, like, if I did this, then I would cap... So, wait, hold on. So, you like, go here. So that way, if he takes, then you take... But I queen... I'm so confused on what they're saying. Maybe I take back everything I said about being great at this game. Okay, so let me read this one more time. Because it opens a diagonal to your king, and after you recapture e5, e5 is here. I'm so confused. What? Okay. So this is f6 here. That's bad. That's called the forget about pawn. Forget about moving into the opening because it opens a diagonal to your king. Jesus, did you hear this? Did you hear this dog? Because it opens a diagonal to your king, and after you recapture white's pawn on e5. So that goes here. Queen goes here. I'm stumped. I don't know why I couldn't. Oh no, I can't figure that one out. Okay. I could have developed the queen. I know. I'm like I'm ignoring all the advice he gave me at the beginning, right? But like, I just want to see what happens, right? So like, here's my thing, right? If I move this here, even if he captures, I can move my queen here, and it Phelps the queen. I mean, sorry, we were like here, I should say, and Phelps the queen afterwards. Even if they take, or they probably wouldn't at that point. And then like, what's gonna stop me? There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing it could do. Oh, I see. So we want to still control center. So like, it works, but it's not maybe the best. Okay. Think, Austin. Think. If you go here, they. Okay, so like I'm just gonna say, you go like here, you go here. Even if they capture, you go here, and then they're still stuck here. But we want to try to capture center pawn, huh? I can't use my bishop. Can't use my. That's not the knights. Try again. So what do I need to do here? Just scroll up. White just grab a space by moving a pawn to e4 and is ready to dominate the center by moving a pawn to d4 in the next turn. Let's move our pawn to e5 to grab a fair share of the center. Great job by not allowing white to have two pawns in the center. You can find strong capture and moves one of white's pawns from the center. Like, do you just want me to capture? Oh. Okay. Nicely done. White is now allowed to keep two pawns in center, so black is showing good central control and understanding. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I knew I was good at this game. uh, okay. How can white grab control of the center by putting a pawn directly in the middle of the board? Well, obviously it's e5 or e4. Oh, this dumbass. This guy again. Look at this guy. So we want to take more space in the middle? Obviously, that's the right move. Okay. We could take, but the problem is we have two pawns right there. We want to probably like threaten somehow with like a bishop. I think if you put the bishop here, the pawn can go here. So anything other can attack me. No. Oh wait. Oh, I'm bad. Okay. If we take this, then we got two pawns in the center. It's not terrible, but I mean, like, it's just kind of limiting my pawn structure, right? Don't we want to, like, move up? We could do this and let him take a pawn. Or, just do this. No. Oh, that's... Dude! Forget about it, pawn. That's the F. Forget about it, pawn, dummy. Okay. Nice try, but this move does not win material for white. Let's try again with... No. I don't need a hint. I don't need your, charity. Maybe. What if I just like let him take and queen and develop my queen? It's not gonna really do much. He wants me to attack, right? We want to win material as white. Alright, tell me this is the best move. This seems like a bad move, but maybe that's a good beginner move. I should really try to stick with the fundamentals here. Real quick, did I get a text? I got my grandpa is taking Luna out for a dog date day. Oh, and in fact, that is true. He's coming. I'll be right back. True professional recording. Thank you, Grandpa M. You are fantastic. Taking Luna out for a nice day. Anyways, nice job pushing black's careless pawn play while white is up a pawn controls the center. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just kind of weird, right? This seems like a really bad move from my understand, from my like as more advanced understanding, but maybe as like a beginner's understanding, I should just accept it. Both sides have opened the game with pawn moves, but white controls the center and black has wasted time on the edge of the board. Let's find a strong knight move, which develops piece to a square that controls two center squares. I see this move a lot, no? Okay, I gotta read these. This is an excellent developing move. Now let's try to move the... Oh, wait. Whoops. Try again. Yeah, see, it says what I thought. So this is right. It's excellently moved. Now let's move the other knight to a similar square. Okay. Yeah. I've seen that move a lot. I've seen this structure a lot, I should say. Excellent job. Black tries to also develop a... Now what... So why do you go with this first one? Let's read this. Let's think about it, right? If you move... You want to do this one for kingside castling, I guess, is the idea. Black tries to also develop a knight to help protect the center, but black doesn't have any pawns in the center. How can we gain space and safely attack black's knight on c6? Well, like, this can't do it. No, they can't attack me here, right? Yeah, they have to move. Great. Great central pawn play. Black's knight moves to the edge of the board and is nearly trapped. How can white attack this knight and win material? Queen? Nice try, but we generally don't want to move our queen out before developing our other pieces, really. Okay, that's good to know. Black's able to defend the knight with b6 pawn. Okay, so it's a diagonal thing. Oh! No, wait, that's dumb. It's not this. It's not this guy. But I have maybe a bet. No, it's a bad idea. I was thinking about maybe like moving this guy to take the pawn, not the knight, but then so that's not gonna work. Generally, don't want to move our queen before developing our other pieces. Black's able to defend a knight with b6 pawns, so white will not win material. Also notice the b7 square is now available for the knight to retreat back to safety if needed. Okay. Let's find a stronger way. Okay, I agree. It has to be the knight. It's not this one. If you go here, it's not that one. No. It's the... You want to do the bishop here, maybe? Nope. Nice try, but black's able to defend... Yeah, duh, obviously. We want to... So we want to win material. How can white attack this knight and win material? I can trap you with this, but it's not winning material. And the idea is that we want to win material. I've learned that from Gotham Chess. If anything else, it's, yeah, sure, this move's okay, but what can we do that's even better? Yeah, I don't know what that is exactly. Can't go here. That's a swish, but... So look, anything that's like behind here is going to be well defended by these pawns and this rook. So it has to be something that hits on the outer side here, I guess. Which doesn't really help things too much. Give me a hint. You did a great job attacking black's knight with the pawn in the last move. Now let's find another pawn to attack which traps black's knights. But this doesn't gain as material. It traps it. That's what I was thinking about before. Oh, so you go here. I was thinking about moving this, but I'll trap it. But that even attacks it even more. And that doesn't even really trap it. So, okay. Anyways. Now, how can white win material? With this? Dummy. This guy didn't even see the bishop. What a fool. Should have just fucking done something else. I don't know what that would have been. But, okay. You got it. White is simply up a piece. You'd love to see it. Black decides to develop a... Sorry about that. Black decides to develop another knight, threatening to capture our own e4 pawn. How can we prevent Black's threat and safely attack this knight in the same time? Well, it's like well defended, right? So even if it attacks, it can... Yeah. I'm thinking like this, right? Yeah. Good move. Black's knight should retreat. Like, I don't know why they didn't even go for that anyways. I mean, I guess you wanted to, like... Nah, that's a terrible move anyways. Why would you attack the e4 when the bishop's there? Good move. Black's knight should have retreated, but instead it launches forward. Do you notice the knight doesn't have any safe squares? How can you win this piece? Okay, let's think this through. If you go here... Are you saying it's like it's trapped here? Can't go here. It could go like... Can it go like here? Are we sure we're safe? I think we need to take this out now because it can go like that. And then it's only we can... No, the knight's got it here. So it's not even worth it. Okay, so I see. So that doesn't work. That's where you just were, and that doesn't work. Can't go here. Can't go there. This guy goes C trapped. I see, so yeah, it's like this guy goes here, he's trapped. So he's stuck there, basically, is what you're saying. You could attack the king, and then the pawn didn't get attacked by the king, but it could disrupt the king structure. It actually might be a more advanced move play to be good, but this obviously is going to be the best move then. Great job. Black at least captures a pawn with the doomed knight, but now let's win the material with a strong capture. It's going to want me to do the king, because that's what from the lesson, but I don't like that. Like, don't we want to, like, castle with the king most of the time? Instead of moving the knight to g4, it's time the black tries to escape by moving the knight to its least favorite part of the board, the edge. Okay, so that's good to know. Knights are terrible on the edge of the board. They're good at the center of the board. That's actually huge to know. Can you find a way to trap Black's knight? I mean, what are they gonna do? Absolutely. Black's knight can run, but it can't hide. Let's capture this son of a piece. Okay. It's a bishop. Dude, this guy doesn't even know. Oh, look at that. Okay. That's one opening principle. How long?
As you continue your chess journey, the starting position in front of us is going to be very familiar to you. But how often do you think about the board without any pieces? When you take a look at a blank chessboard, what comes to mind for you? Do you consider it a canvas with unlimited potential, the beauty just waiting to be discovered? Or perhaps you see 64 squares, 32 light and 32 dark. It's very important to become familiar with the chessboard. Specifically, the chessboard looks flat, and all the squares appear the same. But not all squares are created equally. Consider the center squares, e4, d4, d5, and e5. These squares are the chess mountain, the highest point on the chessboard.
The king of the hill?
You want to make sure you have your fair share of the chess mountain, or inner center. And the best way to do that is planting flags, or pawns, in the center of the board. You're claiming e4 as your territory on the mountain. Black will often play e5, doing the same thing. The squares surrounding the chess mountain, or inner center, is what we call the outer center. You can consider the outer center as the chess hill, not as high as the chess mountain, but still elevated above all the other squares. When we think about developing our pieces, think about the chess mountain and hill, or inner center and outer center. We want to develop our forces to help control these critical squares. Now that we have a general idea of where we want to place our pieces, let's return White's pieces to the starting squares. Let's pretend for a moment that we can only move 2 pawns and the rest of our pieces only once. Where would you develop your forces? Thinking about the chess mountain, or inner center, we don't have to hesitate to play e4 and d4. Knights love to jump into the outer center and help control the key central squares with knight f3 and knight c3. Bishops love open diagonals, so bishop c4 and bishop f4 are natural squares for these pieces.
Dude, it is art.
Take a look at all of the squares these bishops control in enemy territory. Castling has a very important role in our development. For this exercise, let's consider castling as the king move. White's king wisely evacuates the center and now has 3 loyal pawns protecting it.
Yeah.
Castling also allows us to bring our rook into the action, especially helping control the center. with a move like rook e1.
Yeah.
Now we only have our queen and rook on a1 to move. White's queen can be well placed on e2 or d2. Let's move the queen to d2. Now White's rooks are connected, and White's queen backs up the dark squared bishop, supercharging that diagonal.
Oh!
Finally, we would complete our development with rook a to d1. Notice our two central pawns, knights, and bishops are all in the inner and outer center.
Oh,
White's major pieces, the queen
right
and two rooks, help support the center, so in the future, White can start advancing pawns up the board. Of course, this is only a dream scenario, and our opponent certainly has something to say about this.
Yeah.
So what does a position look like when both sides are following this strategy, activating their pieces and controlling these key squares? Let's take a look. This is a very typical opening position, and notice the balance of the forces. Both sides have pawns in the inner center, controlling their fair share of space. Both sides have castled their king to safety, and the knights and bishops are all controlling key squares in the center. With all this in mind, let's have some fun and see development in action.
Okay.
How important is it to develop our pieces to safe, active squares where they work together in harmony? When one side follows this advice and the other side ignores it, we'll soon find an answer. After e4, e5, knight f3, White combines development with attack. Black's most popular and flexible move is knight c6, developing a piece toward the center and protecting the e5 pawn. Instead, Black plays d6.
Oh, this idiot.
Is this a good move for Black? It depends on which bishop you ask. Black's light-squared bishop enjoys a newly opened diagonal, but Black's dark-squared bishop isn't exactly thrilled that it's blocked by its own pawn on d6 and cannot enter the action in the center. Okay. Although this move isn't bad, Black's dark-squared bishop will have to accept a more passive role than we would prefer. White's bishop on the king side has no such worries after bishop c4, where it controls key central squares and is pointing directly at Black's weak f7 pawn. Black decides to develop the knight on b8. What is the best square for this piece? If Black plays knight a6, when a knight moves to the edge of the board, a famous saying is, a knight on the rim is dim.
Exactly.
Black's knight only controls 4 squares, and none of them are squares in the inner center.
Yeah, what an idiot.
Let's compare the last move with knight c6. Developing the knight toward the center with knight c6 is the best square for this piece. It controls both e5 and d4, key central squares, and controls a total of 8 squares, twice as many as it controlled on the edge of the board.
Hells yeah, brother.
Black selected a third option and played knight d7. The knight only protects the e5 square in the center, so it's less active. And now Black's light-squared bishop cannot move. White continues to demonstrate positive development with knight c3. And once again, Black makes a passive knight move with knight e7.
Passive Black.
Instead of working together, Black's pieces are standing in each other's way. Notice that both of Black's bishops cannot move, which means the knights would have to move again in order to free the natural diagonals for the bishops, wasting more time. Time is not on Black's side, and White punishes Black's poor development immediately with knight g5. Notice how White's pieces are working together. The knight on g5 joins the light-squared bishop in attacking the weak f7 pawn. White's knight on c3 and pawn on e4 join the light-squared bishop in protecting the key d5 square, which means if Black plays the best move in a bad position, d5, White can simply capture the pawn and win material. Instead of blocking this dangerous diagonal with d5, Black decides to play f6, turning the position from bad to completely losing. What would you play as White? You may notice that the queen on d8 is trapped, so you could actually win this piece with knight e6 or knight f7. But is there an even stronger move to play?
Do you want to get like check, maybe somehow?
If you found bishop f7, checkmate. Great job. The king cannot capture the bishop as it's protected by the knight on g5. Black's pieces smother its own king, so it's game over. Now that you've learned the importance of developing your pieces rapidly toward key central squares and using your pieces to work together as a team, you're ready to show off your skills in the challenges.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm not going to make those same mistakes. Oh, my neck. Let's study challenges. We want to, from what I've just learned, we want to attack it. Great work. Once again, White has several good moves, but decides what's the best squares to fill up are because he wants me to attack that instead. He's saying to do this, so we don't want to do this because he can just take that and get out of the situation. We could move this knight. I forgot completely what to do at this point. Okay. I could develop the. Okay, that's not right. Okay, yep. White has several good moves, but we were asked to find the best square for our light squared bishop on f1. Let's focus on developing that piece. Okay. I could just put you like in check, make you move. Nope. Try that again. Oh, because yeah, obviously then the bishop then has to retreat. That makes obvious sense. So we want to develop this somehow. We want to protect the pawn. Nope. Nice try, but the bishop is very unhappy between two pawns for some mobility. Let's find a more open diagonal for this bishop, where the black's weakest square on chessboard is the f7 square. Okay, what's f7? Because we basically want to attack that pawn, is what you're saying? Because they can't do it. That's right, they can't do anything. Good work. Developing the white bishop's mostly active diagonal. Yep. So that makes sense, because they can't do anything here. Alright. Okay. White is threatening to capture her own pawn at e5. How can black best develop a piece towards the center and protect its own pawn? So if we go like here. Yeah. Yeah. Because then they're going to develop their bishops. If you go for, they're going to capture, but then the queen's going to block, but then you also got the pawn, and then if you did the queen there, then the bishop would take, so that's not good. Put that back. Okay. Okay. Should have been paying more attention at those lessons instead of cracking jokes about them. You see. So you're going for this pawn, right? But we got the king protecting it, so that doesn't matter. But would break my king out, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. We're asked to develop our dark square bishop to act diagonal, which is a strong move. Let's try to find a move that uses the hint if you feel. Let's try to find a move, that move, or use it if you feel stuck. Okay. So we want to develop this bishop to somewhere. You go like. That's no good. That's really no good. That's okay. Not really that good either. That's just trapped. This is reasonable, although somewhat passive square for a bishop. Can you find another diagonal which points directly at white's weak f2 pawn? I don't know why you would want to do that, because I guess you could threaten and not attack, but it's just kind of like a threat, I guess. But even then, it doesn't really do so much against the knight that's already trying to attack, and then this bishop that's already trying to do shit, right? I mean, like, you can still attack this, but the king still got it, and yeah. Anyways, okay. Black has filled both knights to passive squares, which blocks black's bishop's. Black has filled both knights to passive squares, which blocks black's bishop and queen from entering the game. Let's use a superior development to threaten checkmate on. Oh, I know. I remember this one. So like this captures here. Nope. We try that. I'm one step ahead of myself. I gotta not capture here. You go here, and then you use the bishop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. White pieces have flooded black's undeveloped position. Or undeveloped position. Let's use our pieces together to force checkmate in 2 moves. White pieces have flooded black's undeveloped position. Let's use our pieces together to force checkmate in just 2 moves. Okay. So checkmate in 2 moves, huh? Hold on. Go here. He's gonna have to take with the king. Yeah, done. And yeah. Oh, great job forcing black's king to the board. I see. So that is actually where he can save himself. You can move this and block him from going there. Well, I think that's what we want to do. Here? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Black is checkmated, really? So if he goes here... Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, makes sense. I already had that square defended, but I didn't need to move the queen there. That makes obvious sense. White is dreaming of catching your f7 pawn, which with a queen on the next move. Delivering checkmate. Black has several defenses, but the best move is a strong pawn move which attacks white light square bishop, blocking its attack against the f7 pawn. Let's look for this powerful pawn move. Okay, so we gotta stop this guy. That's what you're saying? It's like, that's easy. Because you couldn't capture it because of the queen. And, yeah. You're trying to move my queen so that you could, like, checkmate somehow. I don't know. Well, we'll watch that later. Okay, cool. Anyways, I think that's... Oh, wait, I gotta do something else still? Now let's develop our knight to a strong square, which also lets capture white's queen. Well, obviously. You continue to develop your white as white is forced to retreat. Excellent work. How can you develop another piece into the game and threaten to capture white's queen? Okay. Like this. Taking space and attacking white's queen is definitely a strong move. Good job. Now let's develop our light squared bishop and attack white's queen. Okay. Like this. Because even if they take it, then they would have to retreat even further back. I see. That's probably why it's better. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, that's probably where it's gonna be in for this episode. Thanks for watching. Oh, my back. If you like what you saw, come like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace out.